This is the Peter Greenwood Show at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I have somebody who's doing a show to my left. But people are always on my left. I don't know why that is. I should, you know what, for the next one, somebody should come around to the right.
Oh, you got to stick to tradition.
It is
anything could happen if you switch it over.
Yes, and I'm not big on tradition because tradition is peer pressure from dead people, but
True.
Some things you.
But
need
you're
to,
still alive, as far as I'm aware.
Unfortunately. What is your name and your show title, please?
My name is Ros Watt, and my show is called Trans People Are Awful.
What is Trans People Are Awful?
It's a dark comedy show about a trans guy that murders cis men for body parts, and it explores representation and the effects of extreme loneliness, but in a really sort of dark humour comedy way.
Where did the show come from?
Well, I've sort of been pondering things for a little while. I had a conversation with a casting director about a year ago who said that I couldn't be cast as a murderer because I'm trans and that the optics aren't right for that. And what does that say about, you know, in a series that if they have a trans person in it and they're a murderer, what are they saying about trans people as a whole? And it really got me thinking about representation and also like my career, and am I going to be limited forever to playing good people? And I looked at all the roles I have been playing in my life, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have been playing like the nice vulnerable boy, or the sort of good guy, or I sort of pop in at the end and maybe I'm a little bit heroic, but you know, never sort of taking the role of like the horrible person, or you know. And actually I love playing evil, and I was like, gosh, I really hope I'm not limited forever. And I was like, well, something has to shift, and that's when I started thinking about the idea of like, how could I create the worst trans person possible, and then how do I have that conversation safely?
And murder was the conclusion.
Murder was the conclusion, which I have to say is not a conclusion I reach generally, but on this occasion, it came to me.
You sure? There's one I go to all the time.
Really?
Like, okay, this person has stopped right in front of me.
Damn, maybe I should be worried sat on your left.
No, I genuinely murder. I mean, I'm right-handed. You know.
Oh, well, that's positive. Things are looking
It's
up.
fine. Yes. So, when you came to putting the show together, what elements did you definitely want to include to be like, this is not all I am, I can be more, and what was that like?
Well, I tried to create like the sort of maddest, sort of like uncapped version of myself that I could possibly think of. I'm incredibly inspired by like the underground drag scene, and things like that. Like I love spending time in basements watching obscene things, and my work is completely influenced by that. And then things that I really wanted to, that my main focus throughout was trying to like have the conversation safely and not have, you know, TERFs or transphobes come to the show and go, oh, we were right, yeah, trans people are awful, trans people are terrible people. So that was very much at the forefront of my mind. I had a trans sensitivity reader come in, the wonderful Danielle James, and she was very much like, I sort of was like, oh, I had this in, but I've cut it because I just feel like it might be too far. And she was like, keep it, push it further, like you have to take it to the end in order for it to work. And that was brilliant. Yeah.
I must admit, I got an email with all the show titles, like, want to speak to these people? And I saw the title, Trans People Are Awful, and I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, Mother of God. And then I admit, I read the blurb, and I was like, my 180. I was like, yes, this interview must happen. I must have these people on the show.
Yeah.
Are you... I don't want to say, are you worried about the title? Because you did just say you were worried about TERFs and anti-trans people coming in, but... What is the title, and what does that mean to you?
It's interesting. I mean, it's purposefully provocative. It was almost terrible trans people. It was almost horrible trans people. I settled on Trans People Are Awful because it just feels like the most blatant. The title is interesting because what I didn't fully anticipate was online stuff and the algorithm of it. So obviously I write Trans People Are Awful, and suddenly it buys into the algorithm of the transphobes. So a lot of my content has ended up on that side of Instagram and social media. And as a result, I have received a lot of hate, a lot of like death threats, things like that, which I kind of wasn't fully anticipating. So it's been very interesting. I think that's the bit that I kind of didn't expect. I think I worry about the title in terms of like, I don't want it to put people off coming, but I think it is opening up a really interesting conversation that I think, it doesn't have a slur in it. So I think it is interesting how people react to the title and go, oh God, can we say it? Like, because there's either very overcorrective people or people who are like, yeah, I'll confidently say it, I don't care. And I find it amusing.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to my thoughts about it, because again, I thought, oh, who is this? But what is this show? And I read the blurb and I was like, okay, I see it now, I get it now. When somebody does get it, that must feel pretty good as well.
Yeah, I'm completely overwhelmed. Like, the show's been selling out. We've sold out every show so far. We're sold out through till Sunday, so that's really exciting. And I think there is actually a hunger. That's the main thing I've taken from all the sort of trans audiences and trans people I've spoken to about the show, is they've gone, oh my God, I've been hungry for something like this. Because I think there's a lot of pressure on trans creatives and trans work to be good representation and to sort of open up conversations and sort of talk about, like, we are good people and you don't need to hate us and fear us, and sort of explain who we are and our transition or why we're the way that we are. And I have very much tried to reject all of that / play into the exact opposite of what that expectation is. So I think there is actually a desire and a hunger for more nuanced representation of trans people.
I'm glad you said that, because I was curious about the audience that had come to it and their reaction, because as you said, you feel a lot of trans creatives feel they have to maybe play into playing it safe, but being a murderer, it's not safe.
No, it was a very difficult write. It was a challenge I set myself to try and ensure that clarity lives about how, trans people can be awful because people can be awful.
Yes.
And I think that's used so much against us in the media. Like, one trans person will commit a horrible crime and everyone goes, see, this is why trans people shouldn't have rights. And it's sort of trying to have that conversation without being in your face. I really don't want it to be a lecture. I really don't want it to be a lesson. I want it to be a fun show, a true crime, murder, horror show that people can enjoy, and hopefully they walk away with thoughts around representation.
And have people been enjoying it? What's been the audience reaction?
I've been bowled away. The audience reaction has been amazing. I am so incredibly grateful, like, whether it's people saying things to me in person or leaving an Ed Fringe review, and even like critics who've come, like, people have been overwhelmingly positive about the work, and that is like more than I could ever hope for. I was very much gearing up, especially because of all the hate I was getting online. I was like gearing up to sort of come and be sort of ambushed or sort of have people critique the work a little bit more harshly, and I've been very lucky so far. I mean, obviously it's inevitably going to come at some point, but yeah, I feel very grateful.
And is this your first time at the Fringe? Is the audience what you expected it to be up here?
So this is my debut in terms of like writing and performing. I've like been around Fringe a couple of times. I've directed a Fringe show last year, which is on again this year, Cabbage the Clown Cinemadrome, and I've done like the international festival, but this is my first time actually, like, and oh my goodness, it's so overwhelming. Like, obviously and everybody warns you and everything, but when you're actually experiencing it, you're like, oh my gosh, there's over 4,000 shows, and I'm just like, pa, 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 pa. And I'm also just incredibly neurodiverse, so
yeah,
so much overwhelm all the time. But
it is ridiculously overwhelming. People say that it's going to be busy, it's going to be warm, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And you're like, I can handle it. And it's the theory, I can handle it, but not the practical.
Yes.
I can handle it.
Yeah. It's bonkers. I'm very well supported. I've got an amazing producers, and I had an access worker here through tech. So I've been very held in it. But my gosh, yeah, that's my biggest sort of barrier to get over, is sort of handling everything surrounding the show and the sort of constant sensory input. But yeah.
So when you had the first idea for the show, how has that changed from the initial first idea, trans person as a killer, to standing on stage taking your bow at the end of a show? What was that process like?
It's been really interesting. It's been an interesting. I actually only started making the show in January properly.
Wow.
So it's been a very, very, very quick turnaround. I did the amazing Starting Blocks program at Camden People's Theatre, where they take 5 artists and you get 10 weeks to develop a show. And you sort of do like a weekly check-in and things. And that was amazing for me. And I very much sort of dedicated that time to making the show. And it's interesting. I feel like I sort of have to ponder something for a while, and then I sort of get an idea for the bones. And the bones have been there since my first work in progress was at the end of March. And that's when Camden People's Theatre and Beth's Tech came on board as producers in terms of like looking towards Fringe. And I think it's just sort of become more whole. I feel like the skeleton of it has existed in its entirety. I had a very strong idea of how I wanted the structure of the show to exist, and I knew what the twist had to be, and I knew how I wanted that to land, and I knew so it's kind of just been strengthening it and trying to sort of expand and actually just be a little more daring, I think, compared to the March show. I think I've sort of like, it's very much been fueled entirely by my madness and sort of like everything that's sort of been going on in my life, and like, you know, the hate online has even fueled how I've been making the work. Everything. Yeah, it's interesting how much it's been. It was like a nugget probably at the end of last year, and it's sort of become this whole thing.
It's become a full chicken.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's interesting because I think it's probably not the this probably isn't the final version of the show. I said it going in, I was like, this is the Edinburgh Fringe version, and I'm really happy with what it is and what it looks like. But you know, if I were to get funding and whatever else, I was like, there's other places that I could take this, and there's other worlds I could explore. So yeah, I'm actually excited to see where it goes after Fringe.
That is what I was going to ask you next, so thank you for asking that. Fringe shows are 40 minutes to an hour. How will the show extend, and what is the plans for it after the Fringe? Do you have any concrete yet, or?
I do, but nothing's been announced yet.
Oh, so there's a thing, but there's a thing.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Camden People's Theatre Instagram. So there's going to be another world for it. We're maybe looking towards a tour next year. We'll sort of see, and I think the show could do with having an extra sort of 10 minutes of wiggle room. But I think it doesn't need to be this sort of epic. I think there's worlds we can explore and sort of more kind of like shifting how we do things on stage and maybe just bringing a little clarity. And I think there's some interesting camera things that can be done. But this is all money dependent. So, you know, it might, if you don't see a camera, you know that the funding did not come through.
That's another thing I was going to ask. What about a motion picture, limited TV series?
Yeah, I mean, potentially, I think it would actually, when I first had the idea, I was like, gosh, can this work as a show? Like, in my head, it works so much stronger as like a TV thing. But I think it'll take a very, very brave TV producer to take this one on. So, you know, I'm not holding out for that. I'm like really happy. Like, theatre is where like my heart lies. That's what I know the best. That's what I love. So, you know, if it remains as a stage show, that's great. If there's somebody who's feeling very, very brave listening to this, let's chat.
Get in touch. And why wouldn't you be listening?
Exactly. Everybody's listening.
Where can people find out more information about you and about the show?
That's a really great question. Probably my Instagram is the best place. I'm at Ros, Ros Watt, Watt. I post updates there all the time. Other than that, Camden People's Theatre and Beth's Tech are the producers, so feel free to give them a follows, check in with what's happening. No official channels, no website yet, but here we are.
Is that something you can't announce yet, or is it just?
No, I'm not good at doing things.
Yeah, the idea for doing something is it's like, I will do that, and then it's 27 days later, and you're like, oh, okay, that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ros, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Congratulations on the show. Long may it run, and have a great Fringe.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Trans People Are Awful is playing every day at 20 minutes past 3 at Bunker 1 at Pleasance Courtyard. Every day up until the 31st, not including Monday the 17th or the 24th. For tickets, go to edfringe.com and type Trans People Are Awful. Until next time, I'm Peter Greenwood. See you then.